Okay, this is CTTP 4, episode 4, cut to the point, Barber Talk, Isaac Miracles, Danny the Barber. We have an incredible guest today. Her name is Yardena Ifargan. She is the creative force behind Yards Couture, a luxury fashion brand where elegance meets originality. I did not write that, obviously. ChatGPT is amazing. And what began as a bold leap from accounting to art turned into a thriving online fashion business at yardscouture.com. You guys can check that out. Her story doesn't stop at style, though. Her platform, Threads of Yard, where she blends fashion, faith, Chassidic inspiration. She's sharing daily insights rooted in Chassidut. Get ready for a super powerful conversation about purpose, creativity, and spiritual awakening. And mind I say, this is our first female guest. So welcome, Yardena.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. This is a first.
This is the first, yeah.
Yardena, tell us a little bit about yourself for people who don't know who you are. I know you're a young mother. You started off at accounting and you dropped that. Give us kind of like your trajectory.
Okay, so I was an accounting student. I got married young, so during my school year, I was...
What age, if we may ask?
So at 19, I was engaged.
Ooh, that's
and
pretty
then,
young.
Yeah. Then at 20, I got married. And
Wow.
I was already expecting my first child on my last year of school.
Wow. Hold on, time out.
Yeah.
In this day and age, to get married at 19, engaged at 19, and married at 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Parents, religious, what was that the vibe?
I grew up religious. I grew up really like traditional religious.
Traditional. Okay.
My husband as well.
Okay. So they were fully supportive of that. There
Yeah.
was no tension in terms of
Listen, we were friends before.
okay.
It wasn't like a shidduch. Yeah.
It wasn't arranged. Okay, so there's some modernism in terms of okay.
Yeah. And we met. We were just friends, and then we decided to start dating.
Mm-hmm.
I was already in school, and
Gotcha.
it was, when you know, you know.
Wow.
It's
So
really
no
like
shadchan. So did you go to like a traditional Orthodox school? Was it like more
Yeah. So I went to Yardena.
Okay.
I did my entire school year there, so
Okay.
I was really, really happy with that school.
Wonderful.
My husband, he grew up in Morocco, and he
Wow. Aaron grew up in Morocco. I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah.
He grew up
I
in
was also
Morocco.
shocked. He's too
Oh,
young to grow up in Morocco.
You know what? What's
He's like
funny?
like Oren, like a bit like
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
What's funny is that he was born here,
Okay.
and then he went when he was 7 years old. So he was there from like 7 to 14, 15.
Oh, so he's like fluent in like Arabic.
Like,
Pretty
yeah,
like
ish.
Wow. Okay.
And when he came back, he went to Maimonid.
Okay.
So he was also traditional,
Yeah.
And then, and then we met later on. I mean, he was also 6 years older, so he kind of gave me that
Sure.
assurance,
Wow. Incredible. Okay, so you get married at 20, you have your first kid, you're in school, and let's face it, this day and age, if you're going into accounting, it's it's either you open up your own practice or you join a firm.
Yeah.
At what point did you be like, no, it's not for me?
So I was actually working for a private accountant.
Okay.
And then while I was in school, and then I realized this is not for me.
Oh,
The
man.
hours,
Right.
there's practically no flexibility. It was
Wow.
just not a job for a woman, personally, from my experience.
Sure.
And then it's only after that I gave birth to my first child. I wasn't even a mom yet. I was just
Right.
newly married.
Yeah.
And then I realized, you know what? I need to do something else.
This takes a lot of courage to
Big
say,
time.
I'm not for there.
I
I see a
100%.
lot of kids, they start with something, let's say they take accountant or lawyers and they say, 1 second, this is not for me,
Right.
but I'm already here. To say no to something you really into,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of courage. And sometimes you find the the shlemut, like the emet, and something else, and you have to say, this is not for me.
No, it's the social pressure that we have. I don't. It's like, I don't know. I didn't go to a Jewish religious school at all. Okay, but in my mind, when I graduated CJEP and then university, it's like I'm gonna go work for a company. Like, I didn't think for 1 second I should work for my own. Like, it didn't pass. Like, the idea was you finish the school, you go to work for a company, you kind of move up the ranks, and then you get married. It's almost like this is like pre-built for us. I mean, nobody forces you to think this way, but it's in the fabric of society, religious or not religious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Absolutely.
it's in the cultural like norms, like, oh, like you're not doing this yet, you're not in that program. So I mean, I went into commerce. It's funny because I think last week or 2 weeks ago I was meditating. I'm like, my God, man, yeah, I could sell, yeah, I can talk about, but like if it was up to me, I would have perfected the art of music. You know what I mean? But I couldn't make peace with the fact, like, how do I monetize this music and like be successful and run and like support my like, it was not realistic for me, And here I am at 45 years old, and I still dream about, I make music. We make music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not like my main thing. So I relate to that very much. I commend you, because that's a big, big thing. My own wife, I remember when, I was 26, she was 23. She was studying psychology, or she had moved away from psychology and went into working with children with autism. And she came to this very, very quick conclusion as well, that no, like, I want to be a mom, and that's enough. It was a big thing.
Being a mom is already enough. Like, good for everybody that's a stay-at-home mom. It's a full-time job, and
Yeah, it's but it doesn't get, let's face it, in modern society, it's not getting that level of recognition. I mean,
No.
we're interested in the super moms,
Yes.
the ones that are
Working,
the
entrepreneur.
accountant, that. So okay, so you understand that accounting is not for you, but yet you decide to
I
go.
still want to work.
You still want to work.
Yeah.
Okay, so like open that up
So
for us.
I closed my 9 to 5 basically to
Right.
a 24-hour job.
So you did become a super mom.
I did not expect it to be a 24-hour job, but it was, it was what I loved, and I really, really, I went straight at it, So first, I just want to say that I was very grateful for all the accounting classes that I had, because I took an accounting and business program. So it gave me a bit of like business law and accounting and some, just everything. E-commerce, a lot of classes that were very useful actually. And it helped me kind of like make a business plan, because I would never know how to make it if I
So you got
hadn't
tools.
took-
It was not a waste.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
tools.
It was great.
It's never a waste.
It's never a waste, yeah.
Everything
That's
you
so
learn
true.
in life,
Such a good-
it's never a waste.
It's such a good lesson. Okay, so you have all these accounting lessons and these tools and stuff like that. You always had what, fashion in your heart, like.
So ever since I was in like middle school, I was always doodling during classes, and
Yeah.
I was like drawing faces, writing. I was always using my hands, and I knew like he gave me that gift to create something. I just didn't know what. My entire school year, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna get into. I was thinking of going into fashion design, and then I don't know, school was too expensive. I just thought it was not on table, just like you.
Yeah.
We just gave up on that idea.
Yeah.
And then it was mostly my husband who really pushed me into it. I want to say that I grew up with a mom who was working full time.
Doing what?
She was a teacher.
Yeah.
But she went back to school when I was like in high school. So I was already grown up. I saw her going to school at night, going to school during the day, working at the same time. She was like a super mom, literally.
Wow.
So that's also my role model that I looked up to growing up. And yeah, and then my husband just pushed me into doing what I loved. He knew I would be good into fashion. I was also the girl that my friends would always call me to borrow my clothes or to do their makeup or anything that was like artsy. I was the girl.
That's awesome. So, okay, so you're obviously you have this religious upbringing. You're thinking I should be an accountant. You jump out of that. Okay, the fashion world is not exactly the most kosher world either. So that's another leap right there. What did you do? Did you go to fashion design school?
No, so I did not.
Okay.
I just used my hands. I drew some sketches.
Okay.
And I knew I wanted to do something that was modest.
Okay.
Back in the days, I have to say that there was barely any skirts that you would be able to buy in stores. And like modest dresses, it was really not something that you would find in stores back in the days. I'm saying like 9 years ago. Today, it's much more common to find, but it's also becoming more trendy.
Yeah.
And so I knew there was this big lack and I needed to create it. This was like my mission. I need to make a woman that dress nice. Look their best and feel good and not having to wear a skirt under a dress that was too short, you know? So that was my goal.
Wow. How do you merge beauty, fashion with modesty? Because listen, the classical definition of modesty is almost like I'm not looking for attention. I'm not looking to attract attention on me. You know what I mean? You take fashion, which is look at me.
Yes. It's the opposite.
You take those two, you know, it's a paradox. And it's incredible. It's the same paradox of you know, a young mother also wanting to have an ambition like this. So it's an incredible. So today, so basically you come up with these sketches, and then what?
So first, I think that the word fashion is a very like taboo subject,
Right.
Because
and the religious is totally.
It could be it could be very provocative, and it could be something very elegant, and you know.
That's right.
And honestly, I'm not into wigs at all, but I do wear a wig, and I could say that it's the same thing with wigs. People say don't wear it because it's going to make you look even more beautiful, but it's all within you, and it's between you and God. And
there's also with the haircuts, you know, when I started in Nebak, it was like one number shave and everything, but when you start with young people, they want to look good, they want to look, but they still want to look kosher, you know. And it's also like a paradox. You have to put the line where what you're allowed to do, what you don't allow to do. So I think in everything, music also, you want to bring the kosher music, you want to do everything kosher, but you want to still have fun. It's not like a black and white anymore.
Well, that's why I think as you know, Bali Tshuva, for people that are not familiar with that term, it's you know, people kind of returning to their roots and that type of thing. I've always felt like we're integrators. Like we're integrators. Like we have the ability to integrate. And that's what I also did in my own music. I grew up on gangster rap. Okay, that's what I liked. That's what I was fed, and that's what I liked. And then when I started to become more spiritually inclined, I'm like, I can't like sing these words. It's not. It has nothing to do with my lifestyle. Okay, but what do I do like the melodies. You know, I love the melodies. I love the vibe of it. I just want to make it kosher. And it's a big subject. It's like, can you make anything kosher? So how did you kind of like, you had this vision? Did you have a certain type of style that you wanted to bring to the marketplace?
I started by being really inspired by this big brand. It's called Self Portrait. So it's a very known brand that does clothing, but it's fully see-through. And so I wanted to make that modest.
You went for the most unmodest brand, and you're like, I'm gonna make you kosher. That's too funny.
This is a challenge.
So I took pieces. I really got inspired by that brand, and I took pieces and I had a full lining, and people were really impressed. They were messaging me like.
But did they pick up on the connection? Did they pick up on?
I actually posted it. Like I even wrote about it that I was inspired by that brand, and people were like, "Is it actually lined? Like it's not see through?" Like people were confused because it was some pieces were actually very much alike. But they had a full lining under.
Incredible. Okay. And so you launched this. What did you launch on Instagram first, or?
So Instagram is my biggest
main channel.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have a website.
Yeah.
And now you're taking international orders.
So I've always been taking international orders ever since I opened my website.
Cool. Mainly Jewish clientele.
Mainly, but I do have some Christians, and I have some. Anyone, really.
I would imagine Muslims also. Too. Yeah, they sniut and modesty is very important for them. It's incredible. Exactly. Wow, very nice. So you do this full time now, and you also have like this other side of you that developed.
On my fashion page, on my business page, I was sharing lots of personal inspiration. I was posting some quotes every day. Everybody who follows me saw my smoothies every morning with a little quote on it, or like my breakfast. Everybody knows I eat breakfast.
It's very healthy.
Yeah. And I started sharing also a bit of my personal life. So, sometimes we go through challenges, or sometimes I have to take my kid to the park, and I have to sit on the bench to do some work, let's say, and my kid is playing in the park, but it's okay. It's just that I was sharing it, and I wanted to see who can relate.
Wow.
And so I got this attention, and people would all send me messages that they would relate, and it was really beautiful to see. Some people would tell me to open my own, like my separate page.
Right.
And to start
outside of the brand.
Exactly. To start motivating them. And sometimes when I would forget to post a quote of the day, they would literally message me privately, like, you forgot to put the quote.
Wow.
And I just want to say that this quote, I would have to look for a quote every morning, because it didn't just come to me. And I also want to mention that because inspiration doesn't just come to you like randomly. It could come, but you also have to look for it. And Rabbi Nachman actually teaches something beautiful, that you're in control of your thoughts. Whatever you allow your mind to think, everything that enters your mind will go through your emotions, and then your emotions go through your actions. That's right. It's like all related, and it all starts with your mind. So if you have the right mindset, if you have motivation, then number one, anything is possible.
Wow.
It's very deep.
Yeah. So
so you opened up, I guess, the let's call it social influencer, spiritual motivation side of Yardena, right?
Yeah.
And that's a separate thing outside of the fashion brand.
Yeah. So it's still called Threads of Yard, because I wanted to relate it still to my couture.
Right. Couture threads. Right. I like it.
But it's more like of a personal page, and I'm slowly starting to work with brands actually as collaborations.
Wow.
And it's exciting.
We have, ever since we've been doing this, Danny, honestly, like, I'm shocking myself. We have gems in our community, and I'm so happy we're doing this podcast, because there's not a proper platform to like share this with the world. I mean, yes, you create your own thing online, but then we almost need like a community. I mean, what our thing is like Jewish Montreal Jewish community, you know?
I just spoke with my chavruta this morning. I said a lot of people leave Montreal, America, Israel. Right. They became big. What happened when they're here?
Yeah. And
I said, I think it's mochin de gadlut when we understand what Mochin de Gadlut do to the person,
Right.
it can change, it can change completely.
Yeah.
And we have the talent here. We have people, and this is why I actually opened the podcast.
Right.
Because I said we have so many talented.
There's massive talent here, but Montreal has a very bad rap, though. For people who don't know what Mochin de Gadlut is talking about, like, an expansive mindset. Okay. The reality is, we live 6 months in winter. It's dark very, very soon, very, early.
Yes.
When you look at even the nightlife here, okay, or like even in a religious context, there's not a ton going on. Okay.
Aside for restaurants.
Yeah, exactly. And even restaurants, like we're kind of like limited. It's like the sushi, the pizza, like
We're starting slowly, yeah.
But it's like Montreal has a kind of like a rap of like
struggling of Mochin de Gadlut.
Like you can get to a certain level, but not, if you want to go big, you go to LA, you go 100%. To Florida. It's almost as if the mochin, the intellects, the minds over there, it's more expansive. Okay, there's some truth to that though.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. I've met a lot of people from LA too. I was working for a platform last year.
Yeah,
it's called Jews Talk Justice. So it was like a platform that after October 7th. People were kind of looking for a community,
right.
Especially the ones who didn't grow up with the community.
Right.
So, so we created that community online. So anyone in the world would be able to to join that community and learn about Judaism. We had like a whole
kind of like a course or
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we had courses on Judaism basically and Israel. And we had some allies and Jews on that platform, and we would create some events in the world. So we had Shabbat events, and it was not necessarily for religious people, but it was really. I had traveled with my husband to LA and met with some people there, and the mentality there
it's different. It's different.
Expanded.
Yeah, it's
people have no limits. Like people want to get into art, they start drawing, and they're like, they become.
It has a lot to do with the country and you're in, the culture. I think about my personal friend I grew up with. Her name is Zaya. She's a well-known comedian. Yeah. Okay, I grew up with her and her brothers and stuff like that, and we grew up on Saturday Night Live, And I think she soaked all that in, and with her own family experiences, she developed into really a rising star, a star in the Jewish world, really. And I actually asked her to come on the podcast, and she says, "No, I don't like podcasts." But anyways, when I look at her today, I'm like, wow, like this is Montreal talent. This came out of Montreal. And her gigs are in the States. Like that's where they're grabbing her. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's always impressive to see people from Montreal striving.
It is.
When I came here, I came with one thing, like I pick up from my grandfather. If you don't have create, and let's deep on it. When I came here, people told me, "You are barber? No, you have to find." Let's back to the original.
Yeah.
You have to find a job. Danny.
Yeah.
Stop with stupidities. And Baruch Hashem today, I don't need to speak. But same thing with podcasts. It's when I start podcasts, not a lot of people see the future. But if you don't have create, and this is what we need here. We need young people to create.
That's right.
Needs. This is what basically, and it takes a lot of courage. But I see it slowly in young people. They want to change. They want to build. They want to, we don't want to leave Montreal because Montreal has a lot of good things. The community here, listen, I can say 70% of what I get here, it was because of good people.
Mm-hmm.
Honest, good people, if helping in everything.
No, the Jewish Montreal community is very unique, and especially from a Sephardic perspective, it's extremely traditional. I was born in Montreal, and then I moved to the States, and then I came back around like 10, 11, and I grew up in Dollard for the majority of my teenage years, and then when I was obviously I was inspired by Rabbi Nachman when I met the Breslov Center. I'm like, this is where I want to live. It's like here. It's like it's in this. When you look at Côte Saint Luc specifically, it's really a bubble.
Yeah.
It's a real bubble, and it's a very strong community.
Arav said to me once, why people come live in Montreal? It's like it's a heist here. Like everything is. When you come to the winter here, it's like you're frozen.
Yeah.
But he said one thing, only because of the community. If it was no community,
That's right.
people will never live here.
That's right.
And we need to just make it stronger and better, and creating. You work on creating, I work in creating, she work in creating.
Well, creators, definitely. I have a tough question for you, Yardena, because I think I see that you're really an expert at managing contradictions and paradoxes. What you did is not easy. How do you deal with the fact or some of the internal thoughts that kind of, I don't know if you have this, but I don't know, I shouldn't be opening up my life totally on social media. Did your husband ever, was he fully supportive of that? Or did you ever feel any internal conflict of how much you need to share? 100%. Is this too much attention, that type of thing? 100%. Should I just go back to being a full-time mom,
So social media doesn't affect my personal life so much.
Okay.
In terms of, I know my boundaries and I set my boundaries. So, for example, I don't post my kids.
Okay.
If you see my kids on social media, it would be their faces would be hidden, or they would be, they just don't go on social media because I decided that me and my husband decided that we're not going to cross that line.
Okay.
And in terms of sharing my life, I don't share so much of my life, actually. I share mostly some motherhood ideas and some inspiration that I have during the day sometimes. I also I pre-record my videos, or I pre-make my content.
Oh, wow.
So it's not on a day-to-day.
It's not on the spot.
No, not always. I mean, if it's on stories, it will be, but not if it's.
Do you do lives?
Posted.
Anything you do live?
I don't really do lives.
Okay.
I mostly I'll talk and then I'll post.
Do you ever feel consumed by the social media in terms of you're a creator? I mean, you're a fashion brand creator. You're producing content. Do you ever find yourself following other content creators that you look up to?
Definitely inspired by other content creators.
Okay.
Also, this is how the algorithm works today.
Right. Yeah.
This is Instagram. A lot of people post the same videos with different captions, but this is what gets them to, right. Exactly. What's important today is actually the views, the likes, and not less on the followers.
Interesting.
It's
Yes,
really
the new algorithm.
Yeah.
Really?
It doesn't. Today you can see a guy with 1,000 followers, but he has 100,000 views, because before the algorithm, how much followers you have, how much likes you have, it's not. I don't think it's much the likes. It's how much you inspired people. How many how many people see you
seeing the content.
Yeah, it's just you want some engagement also.
Yeah.
So that it gives you an engagement, and then the algorithm is really to be shown on people's homepages. So it's how much you're going to be popped up on there.
Sure.
How much you're going to pop up on.
how much sharing you get. How much
And you never.
And you know what? I thought about it. I saw the algorithm change, and one good thing I got from Instagram, I said, before Instagram was about you. And today it's how much people share you. They want to start people sharing people.
People save posts. They save your post.
Yeah.
Wow.
They share your post.
They share your post.
I shared the most basic post a few months ago when I got 500 shares.
Wow.
And people saved it.
Incredible.
It was just a highway,
Incredible. And so you never find yourself being kind of sucked in the rabbit hole of social media and like following this person and that. Oh, she said that, and like, you know what I mean? I've experienced that. You know, even from a music perspective. You know, even though we said, you know, comparison is the thief of joy, we said that yesterday, but like, dang, I've got robbed a lot of times. I'm curious, like, from your perspective.
So everything always looks put together on social media.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Since I'm in the fashion world, my homepage is the explore page is full of people I don't follow, right?
Yeah.
But it's full of women that look perfect,
Right.
that dress perfect,
Right.
and yeah, sometimes it's triggering because you know their life seems perfect, but I'm always constantly reminded that social media is not fully real.
Right.
People post usually what's good, their good parts.
Yeah. They don't want to show it. Yeah, exactly.
And I know that, so it's not it doesn't really.
You know, when I had
much.
my own Instagram, I had almost 10,000 followers.
Really?
Yeah. And somebody hacked it and I lost it. And I sit on myself and say, why Hashem did it to me? You know, I worked 10 years. I realized...
Somebody hacked it?
Yeah. From Bangladesh.
Bangladesh?
Yeah, they rob your Instagram.
But I think that clip is going to get shared 1,000 times, bro. That was great.
And my brother told me, listen, you have two options. Or you sell your Instagram. He delete your photos.
Oh, the guy he like bribed. He tried to like blackmail you.
Yeah. That's what happens.
This is what happens.
That's sick.
And I said, you know, Hashem, give me this in his own. My brother, he worked for Google. He deleted this page. It doesn't exist anymore. Wow. We lost 10,000 followers. And I was saying to myself, I said, wait a second. I want again to open an Instagram for barbers. I did it for 10 years. I don't think it will get me to another level. And I said, wait a second. I wanted a podcast and I want to share my music.
Right.
Let's do it.
Do that.
And you know, sometime in life, you have to be unattached to your thing. I see people that lose the Instagram page. They lost their mind. I understand some people, it's the money. They're making money out of it. But some people, okay, so you had 10,000, start over.
See, that's what I was really talking about. It's the identity. Because, you know, I know a lot of creators, and whether you like it or not, when you start sharing, you develop an alter identity. You know, you develop this kind of other person, other version of yourself, where like, when I'm in front of that camera, like, this is me. And you almost always want to live there. It's tricky sometimes, you know?
No, what you see is what you get.
That's great. That's awesome. It's fantastic.
I know her more and more from Instagram.
Right.
I know her personally. And sometimes we talk on Shabbat about stuff. And after I see it in the post, I say, wow, it's the same person.
Right.
And Baruch Hashem, Yard, it's really honest.
Authentic.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
For a long time, we had good conversation about Emunah. She gave me a big chizuk about it. And one of the biggest conversation we had, it's a lot of people mixing, I can respect you, but I can also disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
And respect and disagree, it's two different things.
That's right.
Okay, I don't like this guy because his opinion.
Right.
It's okay. You can don't like his opinion, but still respect the guy.
Right.
And we talk about it. She told me she see it with a lot of struggles between people. I want to
open that. Yeah, I think that's a fascinating subject, and it's something that you know, it's the difference between approval and acceptance, right? You can, it's really those, and it's incredible. It's the world is really struggling with that.
Yeah. So I totally relate to that, because I know a lot of people judge. You know, we're in a small community and we're very bound to judge others, especially when, example, they go out of the Torah way.
Right.
A lot of people will start judging them, and it's going to create like a little bubble around them. And I think it's really important to still, you know, you don't have to agree with them, but you can still respect them.
Totally. Totally. I think it's ironic because I think it's fair to assume, well, maybe not, Danny's not the case. You grew up in a religious upbringing, but I think, what we share is we're what we call, the returnees, the Bali Tshuva, right? Even though everybody's really a Bali Tshuva, I think,
Right.
in my opinion. Even people that are froom from birth, the FFBs, because you're always learning something new. To me, that's doing Tshuva all the time. But it's ironic, you become more spiritually inclined and you become more judgmental.
Absolutely.
It's supposed to be, I mean, theoretically, if you're trying to get closer to spirituality and to God, why are you judging more? You should, you know what I mean? And you see that it's an issue. It's an issue.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I have one nisayon once. I had a guy here in community, and a lot of people talk about him because he was a businessman and everybody know him. And I start picturing the guy. I didn't see him. I never met him. I start picturing. And it's like you dream about something and you start picturing it.
In your mind. Yeah.
In your mind. And later on, after 5 years, I started knowing the guy very well. He's one of my best friends, one of my best clients. And I said, what a second. This is not the guy I picture.
Wow.
And people don't realize what's the mashmaut of saying words. Words is big. And when you say to a person, you don't know how he's going to picture it in his mind.
Right.
Since there, I start working myself and I say, okay, instead you don't know the person really, you don't meet him, don't judge him.
Right.
So I feel like it's not only about judgment, it's also just about labeling a person.
Right.
So
Listen, the label plays, I feel like it's a double-edged sword. You need labels, by the way.
yeah.
You need categories. You need, or else you can't manage anything. But let's take a step back. How do you deal with, I don't know, women who tell you like, oh, you should not be doing this, you should not be showing all of this, you're misrepresenting like the classic Jewish mother. It's not really about it. I mean, I've
had some comments.
There must be that.
I had comments like that. I had comments of just not being on social media at all.
Right. Like this is the opposite of modesty.
Yeah.
Okay. People actually took the time to write that.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're on social media. Right. Okay. Interesting.
Some people send me emails too.
Oh, like email.
Again,
Yeah, just share that. Let's get into that a little bit because we spoke. I think one of the major themes I think of this podcast is really approval and acceptance, right? So it's like if I disapprove of you, I cannot accept you. That's clearly an error in my book.
So it's
Right?
just noise for me.
Just noise. You don't take it personally.
Never.
Wow.
I will respond to them very respectfully. I don't get angry at anybody.
But I'm interested in more kind of like understanding from within the Jewish community, people reaching out and saying, like, what are they sharing with you?
I did have a few comments, especially in person.
Wow.
Again,
in the community.
Yeah.
And kind of disapproving
that I'm on social media.
Right.
Not really that I post what I post.
Yeah.
Mostly just
the fact that your presence is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, why are you posting your kid? Like why are you taking a video of your kid at the park when you should be with your kid?
Oh wow. But you said you kind of blocked them out, no?
It's just noise.
Wow.
I don't really pay attention to them again.
Sometimes people came to my face, not from my Instagram. They told me like comments, and I said, "Wow." It's like I take it from there. I just listen.
I pity these people. Like I just say, like
you don't know what he passed. You don't know what his position is. You know what going on in his life, and I respect them, and I try to understand. Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes we have to get it and to understand. Does some people different?
I'll tell you. I mean, everybody knows Modesty, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll tell you. When I was like, when it was the beginning of my marriage, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this music thing. I was like totally in it. Like I did a concert in Florida and stuff like this. I was working full time, but I was really preparing myself to kind of like do this full time. And then kind of like with the whole, if you want to call it crash or whatever, identity crisis with Matisyahu, one of the first thing that I got is like rabbis in Montreal. They told me like, you see what could happen?
Like comparing yourself to Matisyahu?
No, like they kind of told me like, do you see what happened to him? Like if you go full force, like this could happen to you. And where I was in my life when I heard that coming from like rabbis that I respected, I'm like, okay, this is like, be careful, you know? So I always took like a very, it was not easy to kind of, certain lines. I remember once I did a concert for Hillel, and Hillel is a great, organization, but they're going to do a Purim party in a club. Right. Okay. And I think I was married by then, I was married by then. And I went downtown and I hadn't been in a club in years. You know what I mean? I came with the peot and the keep, and it was not an easy environment for me, you know? And I'm like, do I want to do this at this level? You know what I mean? It made me think really hard. Do you ever face like certain boundaries? You're like, no, I'm not going there. We're not going to do this. Like, where do you draw the line?
So actually, it's funny that you mentioned it, because some people tell me that if I stay too long on social media, my tzniut is gonna like
go down the drain.
Go down, yeah.
Right.
And they keep saying, look at this blogger and look at that blogger, and they always try to.
They use the downfalls of other people,
exactly.
To kind of impress upon you, right?
But I think that if you stand tall with what you believe in,
mm-hmm.
then there's no reason for you to fall. Yeah, there's the Yetzer Hara and there's, all those aspects, but it's all about you and how you want to build yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't blame you if you would have fell going to a club and singing. I wouldn't blame you, but the importance would be, how would you get back up? And I think that it's very important for a person, the lower you go and the higher you become. So even if you fall, it's okay.
Right.
It's just
that's
I never heard that.
It's a classic principle in Chassidut.
Yeah.
It's the most important is the getting back up, but it's as in people's minds in society, it's like, if you fall, you should have never tried. You should have never tried.
This is how I grew up.
And you know what? If you keep that mindset,
you'll never do anything.
You'll not try to go up.
Right.
So I think that it's okay, and the importance is where you stand. That's it.
What if your children, okay, you still have young children, right? I think our daughter's our friend, right?
Yeah.
So what if, like, where do you draw the lines? Because I know I have this issue, okay? We have a rule in my house. It's like Sundays are like the device day, okay? Okay, it's the devices. Like this is the word that we use. Okay, get off the device. Okay, so I gave my kids 3 hours on Sunday. Mm-hmm. During the week, there's no devices, but it's not easy. It's because now with the school, okay, even religious schools, all the teachers are putting the homework online, so they have to have access to it. You know what I mean? And then the communication, there's WhatsApp, and then there's there's Google. It's like, it's very hard. And then there's me that I'm also always on my device. So it's like a person with a device telling his kids, don't go on the devices. It's messing up all the time. You know what I mean? But on Sundays, we came up with this rule. It's like 3 hours. Okay, you guys, like, and I know what they look at. I know the content, so I approve it. Okay. How do you handle that?
So I actually have the same rule in my house during
How long?
2
2 hours on Sundays?
But it could be till it could go to 3. It depends on
how good they are. I know. I do this too.
During the morning and when we come back from an outing. Or, it always.
I don't know. It's an ocean of like trying to make decisions with all this stuff, you know?
So I think it's very important. It is important to expose my children to social media, just because this is the modern world. This is this is also where I work,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean that I need to be working in front of my kids. So even if I'm using my device I call it a device.
Yeah.
If I'm using my phone,
Yeah.
my computer to work,
Uh-huh.
I don't usually use it as an excuse. So if my kids will ask me like, why are you on your phone and I can't be
Yeah.
on my tablet, I'll be like, I won't use the excuse of
I'm working. Uh-huh.
Because you have to understand that a child's eye is very innocent. And if they see you on your phone, you don't need an excuse. You're on your phone. That's all they see. They don't care about what you do. And they won't excuse you for for working, because there's no reason they should excuse you at a time where you're supposed to be with them. So I took it on myself to have hours, and I kind of like log out, but not completely, when I'm with my kids. So my phone is on the side. If I need to be on my phone, I'll actually put headphones, and if I need to answer calls or something, usually they're not going to be work calls, because I won't answer during like from 4 to 8. But I usually just step out of it, and after 8 I'll get back to my.
So what does your typical day look like? Walk us through morning till, I guess, 4.
So in the morning I'm always with the kids, getting
Right.
them ready for school.
Right.
They leave at about 8:15, and as of the moment they leave, I do my prayer, meditate, and I eat breakfast.
Can you walk us through that ritual? I'm interested.
The meditation?
Yeah, walk us through that.
So it's a real like Hitbodedut. It's
Okay.
really just saying verbally what I'm grateful for.
Wow.
So my Hitbodedut goes like this. The typical one.
Yeah.
Tuda, slicha, bevakasha. So
You just teach me that.
So I say what I'm grateful for. I love doing it. It's a daily practice for me, just because it really builds me, and it's also, I find I have much better days when I meditate.
Nice.
So the first step is to say thank you. So thank you for everything that I have in my life, and I usually focus on certain points. Every day I try to look for something else that I'm grateful for. Then slicha is to say sorry for things you've done, or I mean, you don't have to say sorry every day for the same thing you've done for the last 10 years of your life,
Sure.
but just a general apology.
Sure.
Because we also learned that Rabbi Nachman, he takes away, if you open up to God,
Yeah.
and you admit what you do, Rabbi Nachman is here to like kind of help you take off that guilt from you. So I think that it's taking off the guilt is very
Getting rid of the shame, if you will.
Yeah. And the last step is to ask for something.
Right.
That
You
you
request
want.
your prayers,
Yeah.
that type of thing. Very nice. So you do that daily. How long do you do that for?
It takes about 15, 20 minutes.
Nice.
And then sometimes I do it in the car throughout my
Nice.
day, or sometimes just randomly during
Wow.
my day. It just comes.
Beautiful.
Whenever you feel like, sometimes it's you feel the peer pressure not the peer pressure, the pressure to talk at a certain time. But it could be done at any time of the day.
Wonderful.
So it's,
So you do that in the morning. You have your breakfast, your
I
shake.
have my breakfast, and then I start with the spiritual sharing on my page.
Okay, on your page, and then you get to work. So what does work look like?
I'm also a very like pencil and paper person. So
yeah.
I don't always use my computer or
Got you.
my devices. I like to take some time to write down on my agenda, write down on papers. I have like a whole notebook that I just write whatever I'm thinking. And I also do that on Saturday night. So after Shabbat ends, usually I don't like to turn on my phone right away, just because my mind is fresh of ideas. So I'll just every Shabbat we think about like a ton of ideas, and then as soon as Shabbat is over, we completely forget them. You turn on your phone. I remember.
Almost like a test. It's like, I have the best idea for you, and then you try to hold on to it.
Yeah, what we talk on Shabbat never happened.
Yeah, it's just that your mind is so pure on Shabbat that you allow every single thought to come in, which also comes back to the controlling your thought idea.
Your thoughts. That's right.
And I talk a lot about it I actually speak to young girls about this idea, because I know a lot of young girls that are struggling with different aspects in life.
Yeah.
And they reached out to me randomly, not people that I necessarily know. And they really open up to me about deep things in their lives. And it always comes back. I feel like every time I speak to those girls, it always comes back to the idea of being in control of your thoughts. If you want to harm yourself, for example, like, I know it's easier said than done, and I know, let's say you need therapy for it, but sometimes all it takes is for you to put that boundary in your head, to not let that idea enter your mind, because it could really you could really be harmed by letting an idea come through your mind.
Thoughts, definitely invasive thoughts. So, what is the common theme that you've seen? I mean, you're saying that you're speaking to a number of different, I guess, girls in the community. What do you think most teenage Jewish girls are struggling with today?
A lack of confidence.
A lack of confidence in themselves.
And I think that this is a lot based on social media.
Really?
Unfortunately.
Ironically, wow.
A lack of confidence, which could lead them to doing so many different things, like getting dressed a certain way, or again, we're not judging, just it leads them to that. So it's a shame,
They want to feel accepted. They want to.
Yeah.
Honestly, Yardena, it was a pleasure to have you. It's
Thank you
really
so much.
refreshing to just to kind of have this nuanced discussion, and fashion and creativity and modesty and how you navigate all those things, motherhood and living a spiritual Jewish life. It's beautiful to see. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And if you guys want to connect with Yardena, so they can catch you on Instagram, right?
Yards Couture or Threads of Yard. That's my...
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having
Thanks
me.
so much. Take care.
Thank you. Bang.
Done.
Beautiful. That was great.